Well, Faremaggedon has come back. It is Tuesday, February 19th, 2019. And wow, that sounded weird. Saying 19 two times. Now it's three times, but it doesn't matter. Folks, Faremaggedon's coming back again. The new date is February 27th, which is the second to last day of the month. And of course, we have our usual monthly committee meetings scheduled for this upcoming Monday, February 25th. So, the one part I am not looking forward to this month is another big headache from Metro North Railroad, as they will get to talk for a lengthy amount of time. And guess who is going to be talking for a very lengthy amount of time? Drum roll, please. Kathleen Rinaldi! That's right! She's gonna get to speak for 2 hours on Monday! Boo! Kathleen Rinaldi! You waste our time because Philip Ng doesn't get to talk. You ramble on, Philip Ng doesn't get to say anything. So it sucks. And I'm not looking forward to it. So I'd rather just wait until 10:30 and wait for New York City Transit to start. Because that's what I'm rather going to be doing. I'd rather hear about New York City Transit because you know the disability advocates are going to show up about the fare hike. And they won't even show up to the board meeting on Wednesday. I proved my point. But you all know where it's going to be held. If you don't know, it's 2 Broadway in Manhattan, the 20th floor. Once again, you have to go through the security screening. Make sure that you get there 15 minutes early to make sure you get your spot. Otherwise, you will not be able to speak at the committee. You want to speak at the board meeting, you have to be there at 8:30 so that way you can speak at 9. And of course, I'm expecting Jason Anthony Pinero, Marie Bowden, and Omar Vera to speak at the meeting on Monday. Maybe we could have a surprise because, you know, Pine Power LI doesn't go to these meetings anymore, but knowing how Metro North and the Long Island Railroad are combined this month, there's no chance he's going to show up, which that would be the right thing to do on his end. And again, if I were to go, I would just wait until 10 o'clock to speak at New York City Transit because my concerns this month would be the trash on the tracks, and that's where my rant is going to come later on at the video, where I'll show you my Twitter handle, and I'll just show you how bad the trash has gotten in the past year. In fact, I'll pull up my Instagram. It's easier to just pull up on Instagram. And we'll pull up my Instagram and prove a point later on because it's just easier. I do apologize about that. Don't want to see that. Yeah, that's okay for YouTube, but won't get reported. No naked things right there. But anyhow, yes, we'll take a look at my Instagram and I'll prove to you I'm not being paranoid about how bad the subways have gotten in the past year. Because if I were to talk at the committee meeting, I would tell Andy Byford that this month when I've been filming my videos for my YouTube channel, I'm going to tell him that 2 clear examples of the trash on the tracks, 34th Street, Herald Square, and last Thursday the 14th when we were at Atlantic Avenue and Barclays Center. I'm not being paranoid, folks. The other people just don't care about their surroundings. Does anyone not remember what Mayor Bloomberg said when he was in charge? See something, say something. I'm not going to shut up about it if I see trash on the tracks and I document it for you all. Of course, I'm going to keep reporting on it each station I do a summit on, because I want to make sure that Andy Byford and the New York City Transit Board are aware of what's going on. They need to know. And by the way, we still do not have a permanent chairman or chairperson. Fernando Ferrer is still the acting chairman of the MTA as we speak. When are they going to announce a chairman or a chairwoman? This is out of hand. Joe Loder resigned in December. That's what I want to know. That's what I've been wondering since the new year started. I thought by now we would have a new chairperson. Once again, it's this disorganized organization. And I warn you all now, Faremaggedon, T-minus 8 days. And trust me, there will be reactions on Monday the 25th on this channel. Because I want to know what Jason, Omar, and possibly Murray Bowen are going to say. I'll quickly mention, I did hear from Jason. He did watch the New Jersey Transit Committee meeting. And believe it or not, Murray wasn't there in New Jersey. He was there in January, but this month he didn't show up. So I'm surprised. I guess it's because, again, New Jersey knows what they're doing compared to the MTA, I guess. Now let's get to some other important stuff that we all must discuss. So, if you are not aware of what's going on, tomorrow, February 20th, 2019, we have a police officer's funeral for the Detective Brian Simonson, who was shot and killed on friendly fire. I've covered it on this channel when the incident first happened, when I released the tapes from 1010 Wins and WCBS. But anyhow, we got a problem. We only have one train going from Penn Station to help accommodate the police officers? Once again, it's just proof that Elisa Pica doesn't care. The funeral's gonna happen somewhere out in the Hamptons. I forget what church it's at. In fact, let's take a look and see where the funeral's gonna be held, because I'm curious. Let me make sure. I know his name. Brian... I will look that up in just a second. Simonson, right? Yeah, here we go. Okay, let's see. Newsday article would be appropriate because remember, we have the JavaScript turned off. Okay, now we can Google this place. Get an idea of what station this is going to be nearby. Because if I pull it up, it'll hopefully get you all an idea. So we are going to pull up Google Maps. So, here's where the, this is the station that's going to serve this area, right? So this is somewhere out in the Hamptons. So as you see here, you have Route 24, which, believe it or not, I know where that comes from. That comes from Riverhead. Right, because you take the LIE, you take 25, cut 24, go that way, and it cuts right in through Flanders, cuts through Riverhead. Yeah, so I'm very familiar with this area. So I exactly, believe it or not, I exactly know what this church is. It's right off Sunrise Highway. So this is the Hampton Bay Station, right? So, this is where all the police officers are going to be going to on tomorrow, right, the 20th. The issue with that is, there's only one train serving the people going to the funeral. And thankfully, this church was accessible from a train station. Thankfully, the family of Detective Simonson knew what they were doing, and I give them credit for that. But the Long Island Railroad failed on its part to provide at least another train or two to help these officers get to the funeral. Don't forget, you're not only going to have NYPD officers come. Also, police officers from Nassau and Suffolk are going to come to this funeral too. Whenever their fellow brother goes on, I like to call it at this point, because I'm at a loss of words for how the railroad's handling this. You know, other precincts, other counties, maybe even the state police might show up for this, which I wouldn't be surprised. And this is a dishonest service from Elisa Pico, who, this is her branch, and she doesn't care that a fellow police officer, let alone a detective, is getting a proper funeral. Right? He's getting a proper funeral. Gonna be in a church. The wake is still happening today as we speak. And Newsday even published an article, so I give them credit for that. Let's not remember this, okay? In order for, let's say, an NYPD officer coming from Manhattan, right? They're coming from the 1st Precinct and taking the subway early in the morning or getting away to get to Penn Station. They're going to take the eastbound train, right? Then they have to transfer at Babylon an hour later. Do you know how crowded this train is going to be? It's going to get overcrowded. And it's bad enough that you're going to have an electric train, okay? An electric train with hopefully 10 to 12 cars, because don't forget, this is on peak service. We're talking about a regular Wednesday morning commute, right? Except in this case, it's the other opposite direction. You're going to have an overcrowded train. And then, when you get to Babylon, and these officers, when they get to Babylon, they're going to notice that there's not enough diesel equipment. There's just not enough diesel equipment. Take a look at this. Stop at Bayshore, no stops at Islip, Great River, Oakdale. That's another problem I have with this. Why isn't this train stopping at Islip, Great River, and Oakdale? To accommodate the police officers over there. They're not going to drive in. So, they have to travel from Bayshore. And we're talking about Suffolk County police officers, okay? The ones who don't want to drive all the way out to the Hamptons. I understand, you know. They want to leave the car at home. I can't blame them. They don't want to drive all the way out Sunrise Highway and be, oh, well, I have to use my private car and then there won't be any parking. I'd rather just take the train. And then another disaster is going to be, and this is what the railroad doesn't understand here, is that after the funeral is over, I doubt there's not even going to be any trains or enough trains coming westbound. Let's just take a look at the map for a second. Actually, no. Right, Spionik. Right, that's the problem. Normally on a weekday, remember this. You have to get a westbound train from Patchogue or Spionik, okay? Spionk. Yeah, Spionk. There we go. Now I got it correctly. So you have to go from Spionk all the way westbound to Babylon, and that's going to be another headache. So once again, no organization from this railroad. And you know who to blame. Elisa Pica, the executive vice president of the Long Island Railroad, who doesn't care about police officers. And I bet I know who she's in cahoots with. Mayor Bill de Blasio. Who, by the way, I bet when the police officers see him, they're going to turn their backs on him again. It's going to happen. And if it doesn't, I'll be shocked they don't turn their backs on him. I'm sure if Pat Lynch is going to this funeral, I'm sure he's going to turn his back on Bill de Blasio. Because again, it seems all these people connected with finances, and this is just my theory, and maybe I'm being paranoid, they just don't care anymore. There's a liberal agenda. I don't want to get too much further into it. We have another fail, and I'm going to have to bring this up again in my service changes video this week. But thankfully, I'm glad the railroad finally called the Motion Pictures Association of America to ask them, is there any theatrical releases that we should care about, because our customers are going to want to get to Hicksville or Deer Park to get to the movie theater. Well, you do have How to Train Your Dragon 3, but I don't know how many people are going to go to that. Because I was mentioning to Matt Camper offline that Captain Marvel is coming out on March 8th, which is the supposed first big film of 2019. And, you know, January, February suck. But anyhow, they're going to be doing track work. So all trains will originate and terminate at Hicksville. So thankfully, again, the customers at Mineola, they don't get screwed if they want to go one stop east to Hicksville. So that's good. So they're going to have to transfer the buses, and I'm just afraid that there's going to be traffic because no one's going to want to take the railroad and then take the buses. I can't blame them. And not to mention, you're also going to have people drive into the city. So that's going to be another problem. I'm trying to see what else was here. Right. So I can't really give you that much accurate information at the moment. Right, so they're encouraging customers use the Port Jefferson or Babylon branches, which again, going to be another headache. But once again, the buses will be going between Hicksville and Ronkonkoma. Once again, it's going to be longer trips, so it's going to be a headache to deal with this, and especially for Pine Power LI, if he wants to go out to Deer Park to go to Edgewood, that's not going to be good for him because now he has no way to get there the next 2 weekends. That sucks. But again, thankfully, hopefully they will do the track work in 2 weeks. They will not have to do it on the weekend of March 9th because, again, you have the people going to Hicksville and then you have the people going to Deer Park to see Captain Marvel. So, don't want to impact those people. Do want to apologize to everyone that randomly came up from B&H. Which, by the way, I do recommend going to them. They advertise all the time on 1010 Wins, but trust me, the prices are very reasonable at B&H. I will tell you that. I got my laptop bag over there. 34th Street, 9th Avenue. Trust me, go to them. And it's right by Penn Station. So you're coming from Long Island, go to them. But anyhow, before we get completely off topic. Oh, right. They're an electronics store, B&H. Well, that's the point. But anyhow, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Let's get rid of this tab. February 18th, the Long Island Railroad has released the brand new schedule starting on Monday, March 4th. Thankfully, the good news is my trains have not been impacted. The 211 and the 256 eastbound express to go from Penn to Jamaica. The only issue is, I'll have to warn everybody right now, if you are using the Q30, Q31 and commuting into Fresh Meadows, I will have to warn you now, please be prepared for any construction work on 168th Street by Jamaica and Archer Avenue, right by the Home Depot. I've documented it. But the good news is they're still going to keep those trains, so that's excellent. I know for a fact 122 eastbound to Babylon that only stops at Jamaica, Freeport, and Babylon. That's still on the schedule. I've already reviewed the schedules myself. Just confirm it with you all. I'm not going to take a look at the Long Beach, but yep, let's just confirm at the moment. Yep, there we go. Train's still on the schedule. The only headache I want to find out is that train that goes on the Port Jefferson branch, well, on the Huntington branch. I want to know if they moved that train, the 1110. Okay, good. They still kept the 1110 from New Hyde Park to Huntington. That's good they keep that train. But once again, guess who doesn't get enough Babylon service? That's right, Limbrook always gets screwed. However, the good news is, if you take that 1035 bus from Long Island Jewish to Limbrook, you would make that eastbound Babylon train on time. So that's excellent. That night's bus didn't completely screw those passengers, including me. I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to mention this to the LIRR. Please keep this train on the schedule, because if I need to get to Seaford and grab a bite to eat at Wendy's, because I know for a fact I would be taking that 1241 train if I wanted to go to Massapequa Park, please make sure to keep those trains Because I know Elisa Peak is probably going to do that for me. Because I'm wondering if this is going to change in the summer months. Because I know once it starts to get humid, I'm going to be spending a lot of time on this branch. Especially on Tuesdays when my dad can drop me off and get the N25 bus. Save money on the railroad. So, yeah. Now we're going to get to a couple of crime stories that the media is going to hide from you. So, this past Saturday night, right before midnight, a woman was assaulted by someone. We don't know who it is. I think it could be the homeless guy that hangs around the station, but we don't know. And this did delay service for a bit. I'm not going to get into the service changes that... Well, let me see if I tweeted it out. Hang on, folks. Just want to see something. Yeah, here we go. I have the thread. So what happened was NYCT Subway tweeted this out at 12:09 on Sunday morning. So what happened was they assaulted customer. Oh boy. Look at this. Someone actually trolls Liz Joe from Channel 7 on Twitter. Can't make this stuff up. Just can't. I like Liz Joe, but that's just insulting. By the way, I'll quickly mention that I did notify the local media about this. But they don't care. They don't care. I even notified the Chronicle and the Courier about this. Yep, and we'll talk about vandalism in just a second. By the way, yesterday I also want to mention that we had a bridge that was a bridge from Valley Stream that was struck by an overheight vehicle. So they had a delayed service on the Babylon, Long Beach, and the Far Rockaway branch because of this yesterday. Now we'll get to the main issue, which is this. More details about what happened this morning. Well, yesterday morning, right. My mind's going off because it's windy outside. Curse you, Mother Nature. Incident reported at 63rd Drive, Rego Park, M&R Station. Police are responding to an unconfirmed report of a woman with a knife. Police indicate that a train is holding in this station in connection to this report. 911 caller states that people on the train have been assaulted. This is unconfirmed. EMS were en route. Yeah, they are searching for a possible stabbing victim related to an assault with a knife. So, the good news is, they actually accommodated people on the Long Island Railroad at Sutphin Boulevard, JFK, Kew Gardens, Union Turnpike, Woodside, Atlantic Avenue, Barclays Center, and Penn Station. Which, that surprised me. There really was no need to cross on or on the Atlantic branch, but that's the MTA's decision. I can't criticize them on that front. Okay, now we're going to talk about my Instagram. Now, what's so important about Andy's Randomness on Instagram? Well, I will show you right now. Dirty cars, okay? I've seen a lot of graffiti. A lot of it. I've seen a lot of trash. Even a homeless person on the F train recently. More graffiti on the F train. Vandalized elevator at my home station, Kew Gardens, Union Turnpike. More trash. Vandalized seat in the 6 train. Do I need to go on? Look at my pictures from last year when I was at Hoyt Schermerhorn Street. And you know who to thank for this. Omar Vera. If it wasn't for Omar, I would have not known about this, and I would have not went to see it myself. boots and more trash in the abandoned tracks. That was from last year. And then, back on the 14th, I saw this. I saw this myself. Another R160 vandalized. You can't make this stuff up. So I have a proposition for NYCT Subway. I can find it. I want the Redbird back. That's right. I've told Pine Power LI about this. I want the Redbird back. This is getting out of hand. They need to bring back the Redbird. Now, they're an older car, right? So what I would propose with the current fleet is respray it with red paint. That way, these vandals who vandalized this car, yep, you see it yourself, getting rid of the Redbird was a horrible, horrible, stupid idea. Why? Why would they get rid of it? I am not too happy to this day. Quickly go into it. This is how they prevented graffiti. Now, take a look at this. You have a Redbird, you have a little bit of a deja vu of the Redbird right here. Now, why weren't these cars sprayed in red paint? So it just proves my point. Just proves my point. And believe me, whatever I tweet to New York City Subway in the next couple of months, follow my Instagram at Andy's Randomness. I'm going to keep posting pictures because this needs to stop. I want these vandalized cars cleaned. And once again, if I see any more vandalism, it gets reported by yours truly. And even Andy Quinto has been seeing it himself since the start of the new year. We're not being paranoid, folks. We're not. We're trying to prove a point here. So that being all said, I have spoken too much. So I'm going to get going. Thank you all for watching. And until the next one, please take care.